Welcome to another in the series, the Sip and Chat. Welcome to another in the series, the Sip and the Chat. I'm your host, LeLeith Tomlinson. It's here at Sip and Chat that we look at the issues of life, the issues we face every day, and we seek to provide solutions as to how to overcome these issues. And today is indeed no exception. In the room today is my friend, Mr. Winston Kennedy. Welcome to Sip and Chat, sir.
Thank you for having me here.
Yes. So one of the things that we want to talk about today on Sip and Chat, first of all, we want to say a big shout out to all the persons who have just gotten their CXC results. Oh my goodness. I can just imagine
the excitement.
But it wasn't an ordinary summer. I'm sure people were trying to enjoy themselves, but still thinking, wow, what will those results hold? And so congratulations are in order to children right across, the diaspora, those who are in different countries and in Jamaica. We want to say congratulations because we know it wasn't easy. You and I have been there, right?
Yeah, been there, done that.
Mark, it might have been many moons ago, but I think the same kind of anxiety, trepidation, same kind of things existed then as it is now. I want to say a special shout out to my own son who got all of his subjects. Yes, so
that is wonderful.
And most of all, he got a 1 in math and a 1 in English. So that is really big. And to all the other kids from special shout out to Wolmer's and the kids from the Lighthouse Assembly who did so well in their CSEC. One of the things I want to talk about today, do you believe that, this thing that we talk about as education, is it really, really as important as we make it out today?
Most definitely. I think education is a stepping stone in terms of how you're going to achieve your goals, how you're going to achieve your dreams. So, and for most persons in life, education is how they have taken themselves out of poverty. So it is actually the key towards your dreams, towards your goals, actually self-actualization. It's one of those steps that you need to actually take.
Excellent. And like somebody said, education is like the golden key to unlocking those potentials. And like you rightfully say, for so many people, the game changer in their path to becoming who they are today and out of those shackles and confinement of lack, would have been education. I know that for many people, that's their story. That's how the movie changed, and I know they are today. So one of the things that I want to talk about today is want to look at University of the Commonwealth Caribbean that continues to provide stellar education to so many people. And I want to say from the very onset that do not allow people to tell you that you don't need to go to school. I know there's a lot of views now because we have a lot of emerging careers.
You're changing times.
Changing times. And we have good changing careers and we have some bad ones, right? Where people think that they don't have to work to become, to get money, but they think they can do other things that are not in sync with what is good and lawful and so on. But we want to focus on what is happening in the sector as it relates to persons acquiring what we refer to as secondary or post-high school education.
Sure.
So I want to talk a little bit about, first of all, one of the things I really want to say about UCC is that it's a very diverse place, right? It's a place that offers a diversity of learning. So here we have with us today Mr. Winston Kennedy. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
All right. So I am Winston Kennedy. I am the program coordinator and recruiter from the Department of Corporate Education at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. Right. And I'm one of the coordinators in the department that oversee various short courses. So the corporate education department, we tend to offer a number of short courses, whether it be supervisory management, records and information management, human resource management, to a number of professionals and also individuals who are seeking to take their career to the next level or to gain additional skills and expertise in a particular area that they might think that will assist them in carrying out or executing their job in a more efficient way.
Right. So your side of the university offers what we would refer to as professional learning, right, to a lot of persons who have not yet attained that academic level, because what we know is that, first of all, we have our school leavers, right? And school leavers sometimes are not sure as yet if they want to do a degree or they're going to go to sixth form. But one of the things I think that might set them in good line is if they do a short course. Is that correct?
Yes, a short course can assist an individual, for instance, if they have done like human resource management short course, and they do it, see if they like the course, and then they say, okay, I can go and do a full bachelor's in human resource management.
Right.
So sometimes you can test the waters to see if this is for you, because some of the courses that are offered at high school, they're not really the same when you start university.
Right.
So these short courses, yes, they do assist our professionals to gain additional skills and expertise in a particular area, but also individuals can utilize to say, okay, let me do this short course, see what's about, what the actual career path might be, and if I really want to go full straight ahead and do a bachelor's degree in it.
Let me ask you this, because one of the things that I would like to talk about is testimonials, right? So tell us, whether it's your own testimonials, but how has education been used to transform either your life or life of one of your students that you are aware of?
Well, I'm going to speak about myself.
Okay, great.
I don't want to seem, self-centered or
no,
but I'm going to give you my own testimony. I have done one of the short courses at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. I did project management, and it has been tremendous in terms of the lecture that I had, the information, the skills that I've garnered in terms of how to execute a program more efficiently. It has just polished my approach in terms of how I go about organizing and executing the courses or the programs, from when is the latest start time, the earliest start time that we can execute this course, who are the lecturers, how many persons we need, what is the profit margin before we can actually run the course, are there any hiccups? And we encountered that during Beryl, the hurricane, when it shut down everything. School had to be closed. We had to reschedule classes. We had to change the timetable. We have to, so all of that project management, it came into
right.
So it did.
So one of the things that I'm hearing you saying, Winston, is that at the university, what you offer is practical courses.
Practical,
because one of the discussions that we had prior to coming on the program, and it's so important for our audience to understand that when I was younger, for example, you had a career like typing.
Yes.
Right? That was like a subject as well. But now nobody is hiring a typist. Probably the most you can get to is probably like someone at a clerk or the court.
The stenographer.
Stenographer, right? So one of the things that I want to look at as well, as the audience needs to understand, that there are lots of careers that are becoming extinct, like the dinosaur.
Yeah.
Right? And so even as parents are guiding students into their own careers, our students are making decisions at this time about, okay, what should I do? That's something that you need to be very conscious of. Because it was just today, for example, that I was in a discussion about the whole advent of artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence can actually wipe out an entire business unit, right? So is it that I should be studying artificial intelligence, or should I just be studying a particular area? What are some of the emerging fields that you think are of interest to students?
Well, some of the emerging fields currently that we have identified, so 2 new courses have been introduced through our department, and that is data analysis for supply chain management, and also data protection for regulatory compliance. As you know, that's a big one.
That is a big one.
As you know, the Data Protection Act was passed in 2020. And a lot of companies, there was a great spirit for companies to, adopt. So we looked at the market, and we saw that there was a need. A number of companies out there actually hiring data protection officers.
Right.
And we saw that this was an opportunity to ensure that individuals who actually utilize or come into contact or store or process huge amounts of data that they will more or less need, from the banks to the hospitals to the persons in the church. Yeah, how
because
you handle
one of the things
data.
I was saying to somebody is that this data protection things cuts across every industry.
It does.
Once you're coming into that's the law now,
It is.
Once you're coming in contact with people's data, you need to have certain guidelines as to how you get that data, you store that and you store that data, and actually how do you discard that data.
Definitely.
So that's a very important course that people need to invest in, the whole matter of data protection.
Data protection, and and as you stated, artificial intelligence, they can actually make our lives easier. However, just like any new tech, there are going to be pros and cons to it. And even though you might think that it's going to wipe out a number of jobs, yes, some jobs might become redundant, but it might create new opportunities.
Right.
So for students out there, you can do AI, because there's a course in AI,
artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, and you can see how it can assist you down the line in terms of where the job market is headed.
That's very important, because one of the things that we need to understand is that we don't need to be afraid of what's coming.
Yeah, but change is always
because there was somebody said that the only constant factor in life is change.
Yeah.
So change is inevitable. It will happen. So the question is, and as I said, we want to really focus today on our school leavers and those who are still sitting on their couch who have said, boy, I'm 55, I'm 65, do I go back to school? How do I make myself market ready? So even though the market is evolving, you can retool.
Most definitely.
You definitely can.
Any of the short courses that we currently have, you can take a look at them, see if they are aligned with your goals and your objectives, and you can pursue them. And I'm quite sure that we have a number of companies who actually see the value. They send their staff members to do some of our courses, because when they have done that now, the company will become more efficient.
Right.
They'll be able to execute their jobs better,
right.
and they will cut down on costs and waste.
Right. So some of the courses that we're hearing about artificial intelligence, data protection, anything that deals with big data. We're also hearing about regulations, and that is a big one as well, because we do live in a very regulated environment. And so as you consider, and the thing about some of these jobs is that what I like about these jobs, right, in the changing world, is that a lot of these jobs allow you to work from home with these skill sets that these jobs produce. So for example, like data mining and data analytics. A lot of people are doing data analytics for companies that they are far away from them.
Yeah, I think the world that we work and live in has become so small due to technology. So you can have persons who are actually in, let's say, halfway around the world in India, and they are actually doing work for us out here in Jamaica, because they have a particular skill set. So it really doesn't matter where you are in the world. Say if you're a school leaver and you're thinking that the job market is not just in Jamaica, when you have the skill set that are needed, you can work for almost everybody outside. You can go on to upskill and create a profile, and then what you do, you showcase what you have done to the entire world, and somebody's gonna hire you. Somebody's gonna pay you for what you can actually offer. You bring value, and that is all that is important.
And one of the things I want to say to young people as well is that a lot of things that we recognize, a lot of things that they do casually can now be monetized.
Most definitely.
So for example, you have gamers who are monetizing their activity. We have website designers that simply just, and some of them have never even been to any formal, but they have learned the skills. They can then go back to school to refine the skills, get necessary certification so that they can actually market themselves in a more meaningful way. So we're saying to persons that, as September is the start of the new year, not only is the traffic going to get busy, but people in their own right are becoming, reflective in a way and saying, okay, it's a new year academically. What do I do from now? I want to ask you this because I'm always curious about this. I'm one of those persons who talk a lot about the young boys in our society and the youth that are at risk, and just what is happening in the education sector. So from where you sit, are you seeing men rushing out and reaching out for these opportunities? What is happening there?
I think from what I'm seeing and observing, you do have the men. They are taking the step to actually advance themselves. However, females still outweigh. There are more females entering the tertiary education system than males. So, but there is an increase, not much, but there is. But the females still in terms of the entry, they're still dominant.
So that's something that we need to start doing. Well, and a lot of initiatives have been in place to try to encourage men to our young boys rather to go back to school to engage in further studies and so. But from what you're saying is that there is still more for them to do. And one of the things that makes UCC as very interesting is just the diversity of the program, right? So there are different schools of math, engineering, and we have the School of Business. We just have an IT, and then one of the schools that we have is the College of Applied and Occupational Studies. That persons who are interested in logistics, allied healthcare, and that course I've always found to be very interesting because what it brings to the attention is that we live in a very aging population, and so we need to have healthcare workers certified, and that's what education does. Education is saying for another section of the population that, hey, you have those skills, but what you don't have is that you don't have certification. And that is what makes it important for them to come back into the system to make sure that they're certified.
Yeah, most definitely. And, the baby boomers, they are leaving the workforce. So baby
I don't
boomers
even want to say which generation I am.
They're leaving the workforce, and I think the allied health will
right.
assist.
So the generation, the boomers are leaving and the alpha are coming in, and so they need to have the requisite skills to be able to
take care of them.
To market needs. And I want to say to somebody today as well is that when you are choosing careers, right? One of the things that I would recommend, and I say that all the time, is that just take up the Sunday Gleaner and just open it up and look where are the spaces with web designers, logistics people, construction people, developers, coders. So look on anywhere where people advertise, where are the demands?
And that's a good way to identify where the job market is going. So if you're going on CaribbeanJobs.com, all of these websites that actually post jobs, you can see, okay, 50 companies have posted that they want a person in business administration or in marketing or in allied health. And so you can say, okay, this is where the job market is. Do I like that particular course? Can I see myself in that area? And if you do, then you can go ahead and apply for some of those courses.
One of the things that I find to be very challenging is when, for example, parental desires.
Yes.
A lot of parents want to live through their children. I am guilty. So we have desires where we want a doctor in our family. So basically grooming our children to say you have to be a doctor, you have to be so and so and so and so. How important it is for students, or at this stage students as well, to be able to be allowed to see the need and have the desire for the course of study that they choose.
I think how I see it is self-actualization is a very big thing for almost for every human.
So some of our viewers probably don't understand that big term, so you have to explain to us what you mean.
So what it is basically how do you see yourself, where do you see yourself, your goals, what is the ultimate aim for you in life. So for me, if I want to become, a business like a tycoon like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, that would be my self-actualization, and I'm taking the necessary steps to actually achieve that. For someone else, it might become a doctor, so they have to get all A's while they're at high school, they have to get into a medical program, and then afterwards they work towards becoming that doctor. So the self-actualization, in a nutshell, it's for an individual. So if the parents are stating that, I want to become a doctor, but the child, they probably don't want to become a doctor. They might want to do something else, find out what it is, put them on that path. Why? Because they are going to actually do more if they're passionate. If this is something that they want to do, the drive will be there, the dedication will be there, rather than, I'm just doing this because my parents want me to do. So they might not have that desire, or it might not last, or they might not have that discipline to continue throughout the years on that particular path. So it's always best to ensure that, when you have a child or children, find out exactly what their passion is and go towards that.
Right. Passion is so important because passion will propel you. Passion will fuel you in times when you feel like you can't make it. When you remember and think about how passionate you are, it actually gives you that lift to say, okay, you can go the extra mile and you can accomplish that which you want to do. So what I really want to reiterate today that we'll have to sit down, parents should sit down with their kids and say, okay, what is it that you want to do? Or where do you see yourself going with this career? And that's another disjoint that some children have as well. they want to do things, but they can't think of what they will do with it.
Because they haven't experienced it, and sometimes they're at a school or they're just at a point in their life where they don't know. When someone knows, or when someone have had experience in this particular area, for instance, if they have done summer work, so some persons know, like they did their 60s, some individuals have gone on to summer job internships,
and so on, right.
They can go into that field now probably over the summer and say, okay, I want to work in a law office to see what it is like, or I want to work in the hospital to see what it is like. So they will do that, and they say, oh, maybe this is not for me.
Exactly. And
So,
we have had those cases too, where a person said they wanted to be a doctor, but their first exposure in triage or emergency, they're like, there is absolutely no way I can do this for a lifetime. So that also is very, very critical. So again, it's the beginning of a new school year. A lot of places, including UCC, you still have the chance to apply. So don't sit down and wondering. And we also have, in anything you need guidance. So how important would you say is an academic advisor to the process? Because sometimes we think that, okay, we have it all together, but how important is academic advisement?
I think academic advisement is very important. It's very crucial. Why? Because what they do, they actually guide an applicant or a student along a specific path in terms of how they're going to achieve it. This is what you need to do. This is your career goal. These are some of the subjects, or this is the bachelor's or the master's degree that you should actually pursue to actually achieve that. So if for instance, a student, they might not do the work experience. They might not never have worked before. They don't have any idea, but they know that this is what I want to do. The academic advisor can show them the path, say, okay, this is what you need to do. These are the courses, these are the modules, and this is your pathway towards achieving.
Excellent, Mr. Kennedy. I think that's so important, because I recall somebody was doing something that was totally not on the pathway to what she wanted to do. And then when she was asked, why did you register into this program? She said, oh, because my friend was doing it. Oh. So she could not see herself on a campus and not be with her friend who she probably would have been with for probably 3 or 4 years before. So what we're saying is that as you pursue higher education, make sure that you're very conscious of what you're doing. And something that I also found very helpful is that, let us say you have an interest in accounting, for example. There are new and emerging careers in accounting. So as you you decide to do accounting, you can go on Google or wherever and say what are new and emerging careers in your particular field. So you have forensic psychology, you have forensic accounting. You know what I'm saying? So the big data is also playing a role. So you want to be able to probably still have the passion for the basic level of the knowledge of the subject area, or the discipline, but what you want is that you want to have you want to be able to be relevant in your career pathing to what is happening in the now. So that's very, very critical.
Yeah, and when I was I think I was speaking to a couple of friends back then, and 10-15 years ago, social media wasn't big like that. Whoever thought that you would have a social media manager, those jobs never existed. And now you're having social media managers, you're having persons who are doing data content, they're creating content online. Those are
content manager and
TikTok. You can monetize TikTok. The thing is, the job market is changing and evolving. So even though some jobs might be going out, you have new ones that are coming in.
Right.
So, I mean, for school leavers, they don't have to worry. You just have to have passion, but also with discipline, because you must be disciplined, and seek out your goals, your objectives in terms of where they want to go.
Well, if you're on your couch sitting down right now, I think it's time that you pause and say to yourself, okay, I need to seize the moment, and I need to go there and make sure that when I think about my next step, I'm infusing academics into it, because things are becoming irrelevant and so on very quickly. And we need to understand that we have AI doctors, we have surgeries, the way there are laparoscopic surgeries, just the way things are done now, right? And we know that this world is going to come to an end one day, but while we're yet living in the now, we need to make ourselves relevant, and we need to survive. So we need to make sure that we equip ourselves with the relevant skills. And we don't have the excuse anymore. There are a lot of options in terms of financing that are available.
Most definitely.
I'm sure UCC has its own way of encouraging students how they can actually get access to financing.
Yeah.
So if you're not sponsored, there is SLB. There are a lot of
Student loan,
people,
yeah.
right, and so on. So, what are your final words as we're about to wrap up? It was such a pleasure talking to you.
Oh well, thank you for having me. And I want to say to everybody out there that if you're thinking about your career, where you want to go, your goals, your dreams, we have a course that can help you to achieve that at the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. So just come down, talk to one of our coordinators, talk to one of our recruiters, and it will be in your best interest. Definitely, we are very student centric.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Kennedy. Listen, you have no excuses. You've got to make a move, right? This is a season too many people are living on the periphery. Should I not? Well, you heard it all here on Sip and Chat today. Today is your day. There's no need to say, I can't. Whatever your challenges are, I'm sure there's somebody who will be able to provide you with the proper guidance so that you can make the right step. Always remember this, that complacency is the breeding ground for mediocrity. You are more than what you see yourself as today. So don't procrastinate, get up and make a move because greatness awaits you. I'm here and I'm just so excited because I know that there's something for everybody. There is something for everybody. So you just need to get up now, and applications are still open, as you said, right?
Definitely.
And make the best use of this opportunity. Until next time, continue to sip and chat because this is where it's at.